again,
authorized and expended before you guys took over.
Because
but
we would if
they're hoping to hold down energy costs, and they spent $124 million to do that.
To hold down energy costs. How many years? That's what I wish someone would make an inquiry. How many years will it take to make up the cost of that building? And here's the deal. This is what I've been talking about. Writing an article this weekend. It's going to be sent out all across the state this next week. I'll make sure you guys get a copy. And it is about Energy Jobs Act, and it's particularly about the offshore natural gas deposits that are available to us. Please
available, listen. But available is a strange word. Not legally available to us yet.
And this may be one of the most important things you've heard me talk about, because energy, and again, if you're about to get out of your car, sit there just 1 second. Let me just give you some facts I want you to share with your friends. Offshore, about 30 miles off the Outer Banks, there is a location that's been identified, 9 square nautical mile area, where there are 5 trillion cubic feet of natural gas currently available to us. Now, this is natural gas. This is not...
This is what the environmentalists 20 years ago fought for.
This is natural gas. Okay, I've never heard of a natural gas spill. Now, the governor vetoed our bill to allow us to enter into compacts with the feds to drill for that natural gas. We're currently converting the Sutton Power Plant.
Trillions.
5 trillion. This is a T. Trillion cubic feet.
That's unfathomable. That's
now, folks, those of you who on the 15th of October, like me, you file your taxes, you extend it, and you've got to pay, well, hopefully you've already paid your state tax because they hit you immediately with a penalty and interest, okay? In Alaska, they get back, because of their oil fields, now we're talking about natural gas fields here, their citizens get back a check every year from the state.
They do.
They do not pay state taxes. They get a rebate. They get money in their pocket for that. We could be moving. We should have. The governor should be knocking on the door every day. Every one of your state senators, every one of your representatives, every one of your congressmen, every one of your states, your federal senators, your U.S. senators should be knocking on the door of the Department of Energy saying, why are we not drilling our natural gas? Can you imagine the energy jobs bringing that natural gas on shore?
Real energy jobs, not these pseudo wind energy, solar, geothermal jobs that have to be
jobs
subsidized.
that are backed up by...
And these aren't subsidized. These would produce tax dollars.
Think of that. Now, to convert your car over to run on natural gas, a few $100s. I mean, the Sutton Power Plant, we're getting rid of our coal-fired plant here in Wilmington. This is the people who provide you with energy on those really hot or really cold days. These are the plants that kick in for that. Progress Energy is spending tens of millions of dollars to put in a new, efficient power plant that runs on natural gas. Folks, we are not going after all of that energy. And I keep saying, we talk about wind, we talk about solar, all these heavily subsidized. We have clean burning natural gas, 5 trillion cubic feet. Someone explain to me why the number one priority of the state of North Carolina, the number one priority on everybody's mind that's talked about every day, that's pushed by everyone every day, is not to get that 5 trillion cubic feet of clean burning natural gas 30 miles offshore in a 9 square nautical mile area. Someone tell me why we are not doing that. And the governor vetoed our bill to put that underway.
My father and I were
having... Environmentalists, please. Conservatives, middle-of-the-roaders, liberals, someone tell me why we are not doing that. Because I want energy to be cheap and available and clean. Yes. And it's all that. What is the problem?
My father has this. He just railed against me a couple of days ago. He's like, he's yelling at me about this. He says the same thing you say. Why can't we have our own?
Why can't we all come together? Yeah. Like Rodney King said, why can't we all just get along? Why can't we come together on this, folks, and make it the state priority to get that clean burning natural gas? Guess what that does? That means we can get rid of all of our coal plants in North Carolina. That means we don't have to burn oil anymore in North Carolina. That means that we literally can have cheap, abundant power. Think about all the deals, all the people that'll come to North Carolina if our power's half of what it is in South Carolina, in Virginia, in Alabama, in Tennessee. Imagine if you get a tax rebate. You get money back. You don't pay state taxes anymore like they do in Alaska. You get money. Why are we not doing that? Someone in their right mind tell me why that's not our top state priority, why everyone in Raleigh is not working on that 24/7.
Now, Amy, do we have 8:30? we're going to keep Thom, because I want to ask him. There's a number of things about energy. You're talking about energy.
I'm writing on this, folks. This is something next to.
Well, I mean, this next session.
Something else I want to talk to you about.
Okay, well, we'll stay tuned. Much more with Senator Thom Goolsby after the break. Stay tuned.
Warning, warning, warning.
Side effects include clear-headedness, focused thinking, and reasons to smile. It's Chad Adams on the Big Talker FM.
Good morning, folks. Continuing our discussion with State Senator Thom Goolsby. Freshman Senator, they've accomplished a lot. That a lot of people, they get so excited about the other things that get excited, and then they really try to tear apart things that didn't get accomplished. A lot of people said, forced annexation didn't go far enough. Well, you agree, but you had to deal with 170 members of the legislature and a governor that was reluctant to do anything and having to get to 72 in the House. So
exactly.
you supported much more aggressive.
Oh, absolutely. Same with spending cuts. Same with everything.
You wanted to go further. Y'all did what you could, and next year's election is going to be very telling.
We all voted for it 31 to. I don't remember. No, it might even have been more than that in the Senate. I mean, every Republican voted for it. Yeah, we wanted to absolutely cut it off at the knees.
Yeah, but you couldn't get those numbers in the House to overcome a veto.
And again, folks, you have to remember the House is not veto-proof. Our Republicans can all stick together, and we still have to have 4 Democrats vote with us. Now, I ask you as the voters to make sure next time that we don't have that. and yet people say, well, what can I do? Well, I voted here and on and on and on. You have got to find your friends in other parts of North Carolina, folks that you know that are running, that are in contested districts and all where a Republican has a chance, and you have to give money to them. You have to help them. You have to do what needs to be done. If we had had 4 more votes, you would have seen all those things occur.
And I don't want to get into this long discussion about gas taxes, but North Carolina has a very high gas tax, second only to Florida in the Southeast, one of the highest in the nation. And yet a lot of states build roads with local money, with property tax money. We don't in North Carolina. And yet, the ceiling used to be 29 cents. The Democrats made the floor 29 cents per gallon. It's now at 35 plus. And it's 2 different formulas.
And our friend Bill Graham helped with capping the gas tax.
Bill Graham did cap the tax, but now it's the floor. It's not capped anymore.
Right.
And so you guys have agreed to probably look at this. You've got to figure out the problem, and I've got to set this up a little bit.
Yeah.
You build roads with asphalt. Asphalt is a petroleum-derived product.
It tracks the increase in gas prices.
So when oil goes up, the cost to put stuff on roads goes up, not necessarily because of labor, but because of raw product.
Right.
And if you cap it too low, then when asphalt goes up really high, you're going to have to be pulling money from other areas to build roads. So do you think that it's something that can be looked at as
Absolutely.
Okay.
We are looking at it, and Chad, you identified something very intelligent, and that is instead of capping it not capping it, but instead of having these incremental increases and strange formulas and all this, if we make it simply a percentage of gas prices, period, and then they just it tracks it.
Right,
just
and it will track and it will pay for the asphalt as relative to the increase.
The reason they don't do it that way is because, and this is part of the problem, is because stations, they have to recalculate how they pay. They have to pay so I'm not sure how the logistics of all that would work out. Here's the biggest problem that we have though in our roads. We have a DOT board that are political appointees. Okay. Now, if you want political people involved in your road making decisions, I don't care if it's a Republican governor's administration or a Democrat, you're going to have people appointed for political reasons to make decisions on where your roads go. I think it was the Locke Foundation, correct me if I'm wrong, it could have been Civitas, Chad, that did a study that showed that where the majority of DOT board members, particularly where the at-large members were that could swing the votes and all, those areas got more roads than other areas, whether they needed them or not. It is all political. We need to have a DOT board that are engineers, experts, people who focus primarily, first and foremost, on road maintenance, and then on congestion, and then on long-term projects, who literally make scientifically based decisions as to what needs to be done and not political decisions. Now, does anybody disagree with that? Now, I know that all of a sudden it takes the goodies the governor gets to give out away. Yeah. It takes a fundraising apparatus the governor has to put her buddies or his buddies on the DOT board. But, folks, these are our roads, okay? I deal with cases every day in my law firm of people who are hurt on roads, who get killed, who get smashed up and everything else. And New Hanover County is the worst place in the state. The absolute worst place, I see people that are injured, crushed, maimed, dead. They're represented by their families. And it is ridiculous. So, I mean, who asked me the other day? My wife asked me, why in the world is it so hard to get around Wilmington, in the mornings? I said, well, it's because of all the accidents. She's like, yeah, I lived in Charlotte. We didn't have anywhere near this. Why? What is the deal with Wilmington? Are the people just bad drivers here? And I said, no, it's that our roads are congested, overcrowded. A lot of them make no sense where they've gone. I mean,
they're not crowded in New Bern.
They're not crowded in New Bern?
In New Bern, where the governor's from. They have beautiful
beautiful
bridges.
Roads concrete bridges, roads that go all around, that go to nowhere. Nobody's on them.
I got a caller, and I want to get to the issue of taxes, which you have you're soliciting advice and information, and there's a better way, and you want to hear more about that. Mark, welcome to the show. How are you today? Mark, are you there? Well, since Mark appears not to be there, Amy just tried to bring him in. He was in the holding pattern for a good long time. You're looking at the issue of the way the state taxes. You've talked to a number of business owners.
Yes.
You're looking for a way to do things better. What have you come up with thus far, and what would you like to see happen?
As I've sat down and talked, particularly with CPAs across town, and all those who are listening, I really appreciate your taking the time to sit down with me. I have been traveling. If you're a business owner and you want to talk to me about your business, problems you have with your business, whatever, you can call me. You can call my cell phone or text me at my cell phone. Most politicians won't do this. I'm happy to do this. 910-262-7401 is my cell phone number. You can text me there or call me. That will forward to my office. If it gets to my office, my staff may send you up to Joe Kaiser, my new assistant in Raleigh. But you can text me at this number too. I've been spending time talking to businesses, asking about, what do we need to do to make North Carolina a friendlier place? What I hear over and over again from both businesses and just people, we fill out our complicated federal tax, and then we turn around and we fill out an equally complicated state tax with different schedules and all this crazy stuff. Here's something, Chad. Now tell me where I'm wrong, because I actually spoke with Brian Balfour. He's helping me work on this.
Up at
Civitas. Yeah. And I said, Brian, am I off base if we just said, okay, in North Carolina, and this is something I want to look at during the short session, let's simply take federal AGI, your adjusted gross income, and let's figure out what the flat tax needs to be in order to bring the money in we need to run our state.